Hits. This is what happened when I spoke to James McAvoy about his past films.
Movies with Rihanna on BBC Radio 1.
Start off for 10.
Pals. Alice Eve and Rebecca Hall and James Corden and Benedict Cumberbatch and Dominic Cooper.
Or just hanging out with them?
Just like a bunch of young actors who were all really good and all really excited, but sort of on our way up together. And we sort of, I don't know, we loved that job. I loved that job, and it made some really good pals in that job.
Wimbledon.
Spandex.
Yes, that's what I remember.
I wore a
Spandex
feral bit of spandex on that, and also getting to work with a lassie called Kelly Shirley, who was, for me, was just like the funniest thing in that film. But she had a small part, and a lot of her really funny stuff didn't make it into the film, and she was hilarious in it. That's the thing that immediately comes to my mind in that film.
You just mentioned about going out with your pals when you're on set. I've always really liked the idea of when you've got a big cast of you that you go out and get when you're kind of when you're filming.
Thing is, when you're working at home, you don't go out.
Exactly.
When you've got a wife and a kid, or you've got a partner, or you've got your own life, nobody goes out. But you say they go like X-Men, we're filming it in London. I didn't go out once when we filmed X-Men in London. And then we went to Georgia for 3 weeks at the end of the shoot, and I was out every single night. The sequence at the end of that film where we're all on the beach, every single one of us is hanging. We're all hanging on by our fingernails. You end up having adventures with people you don't really know, but you then become incredibly close with very, very quickly. And being away with a bunch of actors, don't get me wrong, I'd much rather be with my family and my kid, but if you're going to be away with work, the people you want to be away with are actors, because some of the best people I know.
Finally, how big is your stocking?
How big is my stocking? Darling, you'd have to buy me dinner. Find that out. I actually have had stockings designed for my member. For being on set, because sometimes you have to do a sex scene and the lady doesn't need your member anywhere near her, so they weirdly make a little stocking for that. When I say little, but I mean, grotesquely
you mean enlarged,
large.
enlarged.
Of course I mean huge and disproportionately so.
My friend dared me to ask James McAvoy how big his stocking was, and I have to say that was my favourite reaction from any interview I've had ever. Anyway, it's just a great excuse